person of interest is here. Good to see you, Babu.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. And take it away.
Absolutely. Yes, we're joined by two-time student leader, University of Nairobi, Babu Owino. He's here with us this morning. We're going to discuss everything, matters student leadership, matters politics, matters University of Nairobi, and indeed about himself, what he'd like to know. So, ask your question. But first, here's how I remember Babu Owino from the first clip that I ever saw of him. That is courtesy of NTV. Let's take a look. Very shortly, but let's get to Mr. Babu Owino. Karibu sana. Why are you called Babu Owino?
That's my name. Yeah. Babu Owino is my name, yeah.
Yes, that's your name. Yeah. Tell us a bit about yourself, Babu. This is the second time you're becoming a student leader.
Yes.
Why?
This is because my first time I declared my first degree in actuarial science, and I opted to take law. So in doing law, the student leadership has been actually so low. It's been defunct. SONU has been not catering for the interest of the common students. So students were telling me, Babu, you should vie and bring back SONU back to life. And we know that the voice of the student is the voice of God. Or rather, voice of the people is the voice of God. So when God calls you, you must obey. That's why I decided now, let me bring back SONU to where it belongs. Yeah.
So it is the voice of the students, you say? It's the students who asked you to vie again?
Yeah, it's the students, because it's like during my time, students were like eating chicken. After I had left, students were eating like chicken, and now they started eating with chicken. So you know what I mean. So definitely, it's time to rejuvenate SONU, to bring back SONU to life. Yeah, the SONU that we need, the SONU that can protect the interest of the students, the SONU that can also talk about the national issues which are affecting the common wananchi. Yeah.
And you're going to talk about that. That's why here this morning. You can always tweet us at KTN Kenya, at James Smart, and indeed hashtag Morning Express, but to get all your thoughts and opinions about this discussion this morning. But first, let's take a look at that clip that I'd like to introduce my guest this morning. Let's take a look at this clip.
It is obnoxious, belligerent, and cantankerous, and this has seriously caused consternations, discomposure, and discomfiture of spirits.
Well, what does that mean? Just take me through in English. What does that mean?
Basically, during that period, what happened annoyed the comrades. So something like obnoxious, it's like it's ill-natured. What happened during that particular time, remember, it was during Mercy Keino's death. So it was a short phrase that was expressing that we were completely saddened by the loss of one of our comrades that we loved so much. Yeah.
Causing consternation.
It was causing a lot of consternation, discomposure, and discomfiture of spirits among the comrades.
Yeah. All right, Babu, you definitely, there's something about, you know, the student leadership, the first time, the second time, but those who watch and from the outside, let's start with those who watch from the outside before we get to the inside, and say, where do you get the resources to run? Because somewhere it was reported 3.5 million to run.
Actually, it's normally even more than 3.5 million.
How much did they spend in the last?
It was around 4 million. But that in itself is not so much important. What is important is delivery to the students. And sources of my funds were contributions from friends who believe in my ideologies. We also have fundraising from common students who are believing that Babu can deliver to them. So it was an all-out war, because we find that administration had refused that Babu Owino cannot vie in that SONU elections, simply because they knew that Babu would protect the interest of the students. So they said that Babu cannot vie. So when students saw this, they saw that as if there was malice aforethought behind all this. So Babu had to fight his way through to vie using the comrades' power. You know, comrades' power is the second after the Holy Spirit power. Yeah, so that's how it happened. And fortunately enough, we are here now to serve the comrades. Yeah.
The question of, you know, you vying for the second time, why was it important for you?
Basically, I told you SONU was defunct. We needed a SONU that actually can fight for the interest of the students, and the SONU that can link the the University of Nairobi to the corporate world. The SONU that could source for employment for its comrades. The SONU that could look for internship for its comrades. And the SONU that could ensure that a common mwananchi is served right by the government. A SONU that is acting as the opposition government. You know, now we have two governments. We have the government of Kenya and the government of SONU. So
and you're the leader of the government.
I'm the de facto leader, opposition leader of the government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The University of Nairobi, in the last, the foreseeable future, and in the past, just a week ago, 2 weeks ago, the students, refused to do exams, if you like. Every time we have, issues into the university, including, loss of power, cross the roads, block the roads, interfere with motorists. Some of things have been stolen from them, car vandalized. Who comes up with this? Actually, when we talk about the issue of exams, there's 2 weeks that we can remember when the lecturers went on strike. They lost the 2 weeks. The comrade, or every other place within the university was closed. Comrades were just in the hostel, so they could not get a conducive atmosphere to read. So they requested for 1 week to compensate for the lost 2 weeks. That's the reason why they wanted 1 more week to do the exams. Otherwise, my comrades don't fear exams. We're in the University of Nairobi, the creme de la creme of the society. So my comrades, they are very much ready. In fact, if you wake me up at 3 a.m. to do exams, I'll always do it. I'll be ready to do it. Yeah. So when it comes to issues of stoning motorists and any other riots, I believe that comrades in the University of Nairobi are very sober. They're very sober-minded. When it comes to demonstrations, the other people who join us from Uhuru Park, they take advantage. So it's not all these. Babu, you're working a very dangerous trend here. I've never seen a normal comrade stoning a vehicle. This is because those vehicles belong to normal Kenyan citizens. We are all Kenyans. They belong to our relatives. They belong to our friends. And that begs the question: why would, if there's a problem in the university, why would students leave the university precincts, come out, and interfere with the normal life of normal Kenyans who have nothing? But you see, when you come to demonstration, it is a way of expressing our grievances, and in the Constitution, it is there. It states that it is our right to express ourselves through demonstrations. It is in the Constitution. Babu, your right ends where it starts infringing on mine. But you see, it is not, so long as I'm not infringing into the normal lives of any other Kenyan citizen. Demonstration is allowed in the Constitution, but it has to be peaceful. It doesn't have to affect any other Kenyan citizen, but it is a way of expressing our grievances when they're not heard by any other authority. So with demonstration, the only wrong demonstration is unpeaceful demonstration. But you see, normally it is the police that cause this, where the brute force meets the intellectual zeal. Now, in such a situation, comrades they have no option, because police are firing tear gas, and they have to run for their lives. Some are firing live bullets. We've had demonstrations where police kill comrades severally. So that is where now, when it comes to that, then we actually have to take a little bit of measures. But I'm not advocating for unpeaceful demonstration. So in your mind, I want to just learn a bit. In your mind, there is no demonstration that has been conducted by the students of the University of Nairobi that has infringed on the rights of Kenyans? Is that what you're saying? Actually, what has happened is the police has caused all this, because it normally starts as a very peaceful demonstration. We are joined by other interested parties within the country. Who are these? There are so many people who are interested within the demonstration. When you're going for demonstration, there are guys who are seated at Uhuru Park who at times say that, okay, they want other normal Kenyans who want to feel aggrieved with us. So they just join us. So in the course of that, the police, I don't know if they're always given instructions, which is very wrong, because we always alert the police before we start our demonstration. So they're infringing on our rights by not letting us go hold a peaceful demonstration. So what normally happens is that during the demonstrations, the police come, they start firing tear gas. So with that, you know how it can come out, definitely, because there are two forces here. And we believe that the comrades' power is stronger than the police power. That hasn't worked so well. It hasn't. You agree with me? It hasn't worked so well. Yeah, it's not a good scene, though. It's never been a good scene, because we end up losing even comrades' lives, which is so sad.
When we lose one intellectual, you know, one intellectual is equivalent to, I don't want to mention that, but it's congruent, not even equivalent to some other people who are making them lose their lives, you see. Yeah.
Would you say, would it not be much more profitable and would make a lot of sense if we have these demonstrations and you conduct them within the presence of the University of Nairobi? Many Kenyans would vote for that, by the way.
Definitely, we know the government have different ministries, and University of Nairobi falls within the Ministry of Education. So when we want to express our grievances, where we want to go, we also need to let the all Kenyans know that there's a problem within the University of Nairobi. But as I told you, so long as it is peaceful. The other day, my comrades were arrested, taken to industrial area, prison. They were demanding for 2 million cash bail for each. We had to hold a peaceful demonstration. You know, the media did not focus on that because it was a peaceful one. When it is chaotic, media comes in. So because it was a peaceful one, the cash bail was reduced from 2 million to 20,000 and went to Supreme Court. Nothing happened. I just alerted the police that we will be holding a peaceful demonstration to bring back our comrades, of which if they refused would have gone to industrial area to bring our comrades, because what they were being charged for is assault, and assault is when you give a comrade 2 million, a parent of this comrade has never even seen a batch of 50,000 Kenya shillings. Now, when you charge this comrade 2 million for a case of assault, then means that there are some blue-eyed boys and girls who are behind this, you see. So we were not pleased at all by that act. Yeah.
Babu, you tried to get into politics. Tell me about this story. What happened?
I'm in politics.
No. You tried to run for parliamentary seat.
In Westlands, actually.
What happened?
I can say that Westlands constituency missed me, you see. I'm the standing MP for Westlands constituency. We all know what happened during the nominations. I won with more than 8,000 votes. Tim Wanyonyi got around 4,000 votes. And we know what happened because he's a brother to a principal. Now he had to be given a certificate. And it was quite sad, but believe you me, 2017, I'm the next MP for Westlands. Yeah.
Why do you want to run? I don't understand your interest in politics.
I'm a leader, and a leader leads. I want to serve my people. I want to serve my people from the front. You know how Kenyans are. It saddens me when I see a normal mother waking up very early in the morning trying to educate the son, the daughter, from primary to high school to university level. Then by the end of the day, this person may succeed in life, may not succeed in life. There are people, the mama mboga who wakes up very early in the morning, goes to sell the mboga to educate the son, the children, okay? So that to ensure that they have a better life in the foreseeable future. All this I want to contribute into this. I want to contribute into the normal life of a Kenyan citizen who is struggling. I know I'm also still struggling, but I want us to struggle together so that we lead them from one destination to another. I want to act as a bridge between their dirty past and their golden tomorrow in the foreseeable future, so that at least we can share something together. Yeah, that's why I have the interest in politics. And in fact, when I'm at times sleeping, I get some dreams that I speak to God telling me, go and serve your people. So I think it's a calling.
And that's the people of the Westlands?
The people of Westlands, and I can serve anywhere. You know, University of Nairobi itself is covering the whole country. It's covering all the tribes in the country. Yeah. I
have a question from Arnold Small on Twitter. Says, will you vie again or will you quit school after your term comes to an end?
I'm a first year. I'm not planning to vie again. There are also leaders who are coming up who need to be given an opportunity to serve comrades. So I just came in at a time where comrades really needed this one to come back. You know, students were being suspended, and by the way, I have already commanded all the students who were politically suspended and expelled to come back to the university unconditionally, because it is their inherent and inalienable right to access education. So whoever goes against this, as per the Kenyan Constitution, is not in tandem with the supreme law of the land, is repugnant and inconsistent with the Kenyan law, the supreme law of the land. So the issue of vying, I will give chance to other comrades. Only comrades who are strong, who can serve the interest of the comrades, and comrades who can link the university to the outside world.
So after you're done with this term, that's it for you?
That's it.
All right. The next question on Twitter from OK Hamisi. Does national politics and politicians influence the student leadership at the university in one way or the other?
You know, politics is a game of interest. Is what you get where, when, how, and at what time. So national politics and student politics, politics is politics. You see how it's played within the student's body and how it's played within the national body. It's one thing. So whether politicians come in it or not, a politician can come in it from outside as your friend. So because he's a politician, you will not say that this politician should not come in to assist me in my political matters. So they come in as friends. They come in. Some may be having maybe interest in the national arena. That's how it is. But the issue of politicians coming into student politics is just normal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like any other political scenario.
Just like any other. And just to follow up on this one, because the most question that I'm seeing here is about, so at what point do we delink from what's happening in school, you know, and the University of Nairobi, you know, the normal issues, you know, that are happening there, and the national issues, right? Because we get clouded in them, you know. So today, something happens, you know, across the country. How does the University of Nairobi get involved in it?
Actually, when we look at student leaders, University of Nairobi, we know it from time immemorial. The role of the university student leaders, what they used to do. When it comes to issues of participating in national issues, when there are corrupt government officials that cannot be told off, cannot be disappointed and somebody else appointed, the university student leaders can come in. University student leaders has to ensure that the cost of living for any other normal Kenyan citizen is fair. As a leader, because there is nobody who can tell these people that this place, you are not stepping on the right tail, you see. Mm-hmm. So student leadership is there to provide, it's a watchdog to the national government.
All right. Yeah. Let's take a phone call this morning. Charles, who's watching us from Nairobi. Charles, good morning.
Good
morning, Charles.
Good morning to you.
Yes.
Yes, my concern is this,
Yes, sir.
That what Solid does, it is to inspire university students to become political gurus, not hard-working guys. Because we see them when they're demonstrating. They'll come for your phone, they'll come for your wallet, they'll even beat you up in the name of protesting. I'm praying for them, and we see Sonu will become enterprising. Like, show these guys what to do when they leave school. Instead of working in town, they should become entrepreneurs like we're entrepreneurs. And when you say that Mama Bokas are not good, Mama Bokas are people making money, bona. So tell these guys to appreciate entrepreneurship. Yes. Thank you.
Charles, just a quick reaction to that, Babu.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles. I understand Charles' plea. And as I said earlier, demonstration is allowed in the Kenyan constitution so long as it is peaceful. We have revolutions in other westernized countries that took place. People were demonstrating. Every other thing was happening. There was demonstration so that the citizens could get their rights. Because it is a way of expressing your grievances. If diplomacy fails, it's not a forceful way, but it is just a way that you're showing solidarity, that you are all in pain, that you're sharing a common thing. The issue of taking Charles' wallet and stoning any other motorist, I told you, my friend, you know, as a student of the University of Nairobi, when a student comes there, he or she knows what has brought him or her there. By the end of the day, the students are chasing the certificate. They're not chasing somebody's wallet.
But that's the situation today. That's the situation today.
What happens, I told you, there are people who join us in the demonstration.
So they're not students?
Those are not students.
Let's talk to James in Nairobi. James, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, James.
Yes, I want first to congratulate Babu.
Yes.
Thank you.
He's one of the students that we have had in a long time, a servant trader. I also want to agree with him. Those guys who grow stones are not students. They are people from Uhuru Park. And these also need to
James, hang on. James, hang on. I just like to, how do you know there are people from Uhuru Park and not students? Help me identify that.
First, I'm not a student, but I used to be a student there some 3 years ago.
Yes.
Now, if you look at the trend of the strikes that used to be there in the 90s, they were worse than what we have nowadays. At least nowadays, students are more controlled. The strikes are less frequent. And I would like to believe I have been in town when these friends have been happening, and all manner of goons joining the strike, some who are not even students, and they go rooting people's properties. I have seen it.
But James,
yes.
Before you go, just why would the University of Nairobi students go out in the streets so that they can be joined by other goons? Why not demonstrate inside the university? Why are you not going to be joined by other goons?
Okay, now if you look, we are not saying about the university of students alone. If they want to present their grievances,
yes,
maybe to parliament, maybe to a cabinet secretary, or even to the president, they cannot present inside the university. These people obviously are outside the university.
All right, James, what is your question to Babu this morning?
Yes?
What is your question?
No, we just wanted to give those comments.
All right, you are a supporter, Babu. There you go. Still the issue of how University of Nairobi conducts the students, especially at the times of strike, conducts their strikes or their demonstrations, if you like, is a key thorn in the flesh. You know, would like to say there are people outside the university, but yes, it still comes back to you as the leader, as the person who started this.
Actually, I told you issues of demonstration. The other day we held a peaceful demonstration.
You were not joined by thugs?
We were not joined. Actually, what I did, I told student leaders to take charge and to note any other malicious person, a person who will come with malice aforethought during our demonstration. So we used one side of the road, and student leaders were taking charge with other responsible students also. So during that time, I didn't see the media saying that the University of Nairobi actually held a peaceful demonstration. You see that? So any other issue that comes along, in fact, I urge the government of Kenya to provide employment for our brothers at Uhuru Park so that there is no so much public outcry about these demonstrations. So issues of demonstration, I believe if there is any problem that we cannot solve as leaders, then we will first use dialogue, because dialogue is not a weakness. But if there is any other problem that we shall face where dialogue cannot solve, then we shall still hold a peaceful demonstration where we will not be disturbing Kenyan citizens. It will be a peaceful demonstration to the destination that we want to reach. Then after that, we'll just come back to campus.
Fine. Benjamin in Eldoret, good morning.
Good morning, James. How are you?
Fine, thank you. What's your concern this morning, Benjamin?
I don't have a concern per se.
Yes.
I just want to state what Babu said. I'm not a student. I left University of Nairobi long ago. I work in Eldoret.
Right.
And when John Paul was killed at the university, we held a peaceful demonstration, and the police followed students up to the hostels. Now, to present that grievances to the police commissioner, we held another peaceful one. When we were coming back at Nakumatt Lifestyle, a few goons entered Nakumatt and broke it and took takes away, and they were all arrested. When they were told to produce identity cards, they will not. So what we are saying is, if we are to ever have good demonstrations, the police must be on the watch out, and they must not use a lot of force. But if a mistake happens, then the student leaders should be held accountable. So as Babu says, I just want to put it to him that if they are to hold demonstrations, they should inform the police. But then if anything goes wrong, Babu should be held and the other student leaders accountable. They must be willing to go through on that. Thank you.
I like that. I mean, that's moving us forward. Hold demonstrations. If my car windscreen gets shattered, we come for you.
Actually, any leader must take political responsibility. Any leader must be responsible for the actions of his or her citizens. But by the end of the day, as Benjamin has put it, you know, most of the times the police arrest some of these guys. When we go to the police station, we find that these people are not students. When it comes to demonstration, we always alert police. In fact, we always tell the police to come and provide security. But the police themselves always start rioting, you know, they start rioting. So it's the students who try to control the police in one way or the other. But during that action, you know, things spill. But I urge the police to be our friends. They are our brothers and sisters. Let us live as fellow Kenyans, as we are peaceful. We don't want anything that is chaotic to any other normal citizen in the country. We want the police that by the time that we are holding our demonstration, we want the police to hold themselves with a lot of decorum and dignity. Let them come and provide security. Let them do their job, but not that because they've not used tear gas for a very long time or live bullets, now they want to exercise or practice them on the normal comrades, you see. That we will not also accept. And the police commissioner, the inspector general should know that, should train his boys, and he should tell his boys that during these demonstrations, they should be providing security
so
to the destinations.
Can I at least agree, Babu, that yes, you can have peaceful demonstration. It's a right within the constitution, it's within the law. But in case it turns chaotic, you are joined by people from Uhuru Park, as you like to say, we come for the student leadership. We come for you specifically.
There is no demonstration that will be chaotic under my leadership. It shall be in control, not unless the police want to riot, you see.
Hang on to that thought. Let's get Mohammed from Isiolo. Mohammed, good morning.
Morning to you, James Matt.
Yes, sir. What's your concern this morning?
The chair, Babu. Morning, Babu.
Morning. How are you, Mohammed?
Fine, thank you. I just want to congratulate you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and also for taking that commendable job, what you are doing, because as leaders, I see you are trying, the universities should nurture leaders, and that's where you're starting from. And I see you've got high chances of going far. Then the second thing I want to put to you,
yes,
as the chair of the student organization of Nairobi University Union, I think you sit in the board of maybe the administration, or what I want is that in a place like Isiolo, we do not have a fully fledged branch of Nairobi University. And what normally we have is like extra mural stations where only a few courses are taught. What measures can you take to ensure that Nairobi University or any other university spread their wings so that we've got fully fledged, and most of the young fellows who wants to pursue other course, because going to Nairobi is a bit expensive, and the tuitions that people pay there, maybe it's a bit cheaper. That is one way, because a devil's mind is a devil's workshop, sorry. And the third thing is that go for it. You are a young fellow, you've got very good ideas. Even after the university, look around, move, come to other places, discuss with us. But please, the agenda, move the agenda of the youth and Kenyans in general. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just clarify, you're not the VC of University of Nairobi?
Yeah, actually,
but you can answer that question.
Yeah, I can answer that. Mohammed, what I can tell you, my brother, because University of Nairobi branches are almost everywhere in the country. When one is not in Isiolo, then we have to raise this issue at the University Council, which is the policy-making body in the university. I'm a member of the University Council, and I shall raise it so that at least a branch of the University of Nairobi comes to Isiolo.
All right.
That will work.
Add to that, another here says, what do you plan to do to comrades in Kisumu and Mombasa who do not have accommodation and activities in the campuses?
Actually, now, when you look at this SONU election that just took place, the Kisumu and Mombasa campuses were included. We have the campus representatives, we have the structures of leadership from the congressman to the campus representative. Now, it is the role of the campus representative and the leadership at the campus level to ensure that all these activities happen. Now, we budgeted for Kisumu and Mombasa. They're in our budget, within the SONU budget, and activities shall take place as normal. We know some of the grievances that these students face. We know some of the students who are suspended in Kisumu, 4 of them are politically suspended. In fact, there was a court order for them to do examination, and there's the university administration now is disobeying this court order for the students to do exams. And we are yet to deal with that at that level, at the university level. And much will be done by the leaders at the college level. I can only come in when the issue is so grievous. I'll be visiting Kisumu and Mombasa and other university branches within the country more frequently to hear their grievances and try to solve the grievances.
All right, Nicholas from Nairobi. Good morning, Nicholas.
Good morning.
Yes. What's your concern this morning, Nicholas?
My concern is Babu is a leader, and we know he's a good leader. But my concern is this. As a leader, why don't you take the high road and the dialogue first? Because we know when you take the students to the street, their tempers will flare up. So why not take the high road, dialogue first, and not give
mediocre excuses of guys from Uhuru Park joining the demonstration. Why don't you just take another option?
Right. Good question, Nicholas. Babu?
Actually, Mr. Nicholas, before any demonstration, we always hold dialogue, because I say dialogue is not a weakness. When we dialogue with the administration, I tend to believe that some of the administrators have their selfish interest to protect, because the first thing that we do, if there's a problem, we come on the table, we try to find a solution to that. When you see students going to the streets, all these things they don't just happen. They are caused by somebody else. They are caused by people who don't listen.
What happens on the night that when there's blackout?
Okay, when the issues of blackouts, the same thing that I said, there are so many idle Kenyan citizens that want to take advantage. It's just the same things. Students, when there are no blackouts, they always just stay outside their halls. They don't go beyond that. Now, when it goes to issues of going to the streets, of which I don't support, there could be some few individuals who have their selfish interest, who have their personal interest to cater for, that are going on the streets when there's blackout. And I urge that I urge the university administration to buy these backup generators, because I know even in my place where I live, the nursery school which is next to my place where I live in my village, there's a backup generator when the lights are off, you see. So the university administration, if the University of Nairobi is ISO certified, something like a generator the university can buy and avoid all these issues which are causing unnecessary tension to the normal citizens. Yeah.
Babu, I need to wind this out. My question asked here, are you a wealthy person? How wealthy are you?
I'm wealthy at heart and in my mind. In fact, I have $1 billion brain, so being rich is being rich in the mind. This is my wealth. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Otherwise, the physical wealth, my wealth is in heaven. Yeah. I don't have so much. I only have what can sustain my normal life. I'm a normal person who means no harm, has no harm, intends no harm, and thinks no harm to any other normal Kenyan citizen. Yeah, I'm just the way you are seeing me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Apparently, we are told that you have an entourage in campus. How do you sustain your entourage?
Actually, those are students who believe in my ideology. They are people who believe that I have to be Babu. I'm not comparing myself to Jesus Christ, but you see the way we believe in Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian. He had followers who believe in his ideas and believe in Christianity and believe in salvation. I also have my people who believe that it is Babu who can act as a bridge between our dirty past and our golden tomorrow in the foreseeable future by providing the services that they need. So when I have an entourage, those are people who believe in me, mm-hmm. and there's no problem with that. Any other leader will have that.
You provide for them?
I provide for them, and it is not a weakness, and it doesn't involve on any other.
What's your daily budget like this? I mean, like if an entourage, these are 12 disciples, how many do you have?
Actually, we have a budget for Sonu that's catering for that. Yeah. So when there is an issue, when a student is, you could be finding a hungry comrade. Like in the Bible, Jesus said that on the Sabbath day, if your cow gets into a hole, will you leave it because it is on a Sabbath day? You will have to remove it. Mm-hmm. Now, people are saying that when you give these comrades some little money or some money to buy some lunch or supper, then that's bad. That's corruption. If that's corruption, then I must admit that I'm seriously corrupt. I must admit that, because giving comrade food to take, that is not corruption. Mm-hmm. And even you could have, if somebody comes to you and says, my friend, just I'm hungry, just assist me so that I can have my lunch. What will you do if you have something? You will definitely give. And now there's Sonu budget that is catering for that, that is ensuring that my comrades eat chicken. They are not eating like chicken.
Babu Owino.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming through and sharing your thoughts. We'll be watching, and hopefully in your time and in the future that we're not going to have demonstrations that are going to interfere with the normal lives of Kenyan people and Nairobians.
I don't want to disturb any Kenyan citizen. We are one. Kenya, we are one, and we want us to live peacefully.
We'll hold you to that.
That's what I want.
We'll hold you to that, Babu. Thank you very much. We're talking to Babu Owino, student leader, the University of Nairobi. And yes, we heard from him. We we will make sure that we keep him and keep that word that is given us this morning.